Not a matter of if, but when crisis will rock your world. I'm Roshini Rajkumar, crisis strategist, licensed attorney, and host of The Crisis Files. In each case file, we explore hot topics with expert insiders. Todd Walker is a travel journalist who roams the world as the advance man for his viewers and readers. He is also The Crisis Files travel and lifestyle contributor. We count on him to bring us fresh angles for the modern traveler. Sometimes that kind of travel means going it alone. Todd is here for the case file I call Traveling Solo. Todd, why would someone go solo?
What they're finding now is a lot of people are choosing to go solo for many different reasons. Maybe one of the partners has retired early and has time to be able to travel and does not want to wait for the other one. It also is a case where people are between jobs and they're saying, I have this downtime. What am I going to do with it? I really want to do something, unusual. There's also a big movement. There's so many people out there that are caregivers and they're like, you know what? I need a break. I need to get away. And so they'll say that, you know what? I have some time now. Maybe their loved one has passed, but they're taking off and doing things on their own. And also with the flexible schedules that we're finding out there that so many people have, they can simply go. So a lot of people are making the decision, I'm not going to wait on somebody else, or I'm not going to just say, hey, friends, let's all get together and do something. I'm sure you've had those situations, even when it's a matter of going out for dinner. Let's all make a decision. What type of food do we want tonight? People are deciding, I'm going to be the CEO of my life. And if I want to travel, I'm not going to wait on somebody else.
Well, the other thing is, we all have our own kind of travel habits. So even with my own partner, my husband, he has different preferences for how he flies. I have a little more flexible of a schedule because I'm a business owner. I can create my own schedule. He does not have that kind of liberty. So sometimes it just means, you know what? I'm going to do this trip on my own, or I'm going to make it a girls' trip, maybe meet up with some friends. And these are all things that no one should feel guilty about, right?
Absolutely. And seriously, that you're finding it more and more often. And travel operators are responding to this, such as there's different cruise lines that for years you would have to pay the full cost of a suite. And so if you were going by yourself and you're going with other couples or whatever, you'd be stuck having to do that. But now it's happening where they're saying, we have single suites. And in some of the cruise ships, they have an area right in the middle of the ship that is all just single bunk rooms. And everybody shares a common living space in the middle and a kitchen and a commissary.
So if you're willing to do that, it's there and you can meet people.
Right.
So you're feeling less lonely when you travel.
Exactly. And so that's called a single supplement. And so a lot of places and a lot of people are saying, I'm not going to pay that anymore and I don't want to do it. And the travel operators are responding saying there's a lot of people that are solo traveling. So I really would suggest that don't be afraid, give it a shot, look at your life and say, all my friends are really interested in going to the beach, but I really feel like, going hiking in the mountains. Give it a shot. Start small, start little, maybe take a long weekend, but do not shy away from it.
Well, and you talk about, let's say someone wants to go hiking in the mountains. What I've learned from being on a running team in my city is that there are running teams all over the U.S., all over the world, that if you plan ahead and maybe there's a hiking group or a biking group, as you're traveling, you can go and get in on one of their 4 or 5 or 6 meetups during the course of any given week. So you're doing your activity, but you're not alone.
I have done that for a long time. That was my passion. As you know, I ran for many, many years. And what I would do is I would go to a city and I would immediately look for what running teams, what running groups were meeting at various running stores or whatever. And I'm a solo traveler and I would meet up with them and they'd have the different, this one's going 3 miles, this one's going 6 miles, this one's at this pace. And I would join them and it was such a wonderful way to see the city.
And learn about it.
Oh, yeah. I remember doing it in Boston. It was fantastic. And I would, learn about the people that, on the running team and, where they're from. And it was such a great way and find out little restaurants, things to do. So that was actually on my list too, is that, look for meetup groups. If that's something that you're craving is community, you can certainly find that.
All right. So let's talk basics, Todd. Self-trust and balance are really part of this. What are some of your tips someone is sitting there. They're either going to call a travel agent, they're going to go online, they're going to go on your site for some tips. What should they be starting to do logistically?
Logistically, spend some time with yourself. Really, really center yourself and say, not, oh, this is where I should go. Or I've never been to Washington, D.C., so I've never seen the
So before you even book anything, spend some time with yourself.
Spend some time with yourself and really think what would make you happy. What do you want to do? And what are you hoping to accomplish on this trip? Is it a trip of adventure and you really want to explore? Or is it a volunteerism trip and you want to give of your time? Or is it a time of completely being with yourself and relaxing with a book? So define what you want to do. Then start the exploration. Then think, what are the places that would give me this type of this type of feeling that I'm really searching for? And start narrowing it down that way. And then maybe do reach out to a travel provider and say, do you have any suggestions? Do you have any groups that are doing this? Because that's the other thing. If you can still travel alone, but travel in a group. So you could call a travel agent and say, okay, are you putting together a group? And there's so many places that are doing this now. And join that group and you still can do your own thing. So there's kind of some steps that you want to go through. But I think the most important is defining what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, intention is so important. All right. Then there is just your overall mindset. And you recommend that we really do think about putting less pressure on ourselves, reducing the stress. It can seem to be more stressful when you travel alone. I mean, I sit and think about, every night I'm going to have dinner by myself. Will I want that? I mean, that could be getting your stress in your system going even before you get on a plane.
Now, if you are somebody like that, that's why I'm saying spend some time with yourself at the very beginning and think, what type of traveler am I? If I'm the person that would really freak out, stress out, going, what am I going to do to fill my day? Where am I going to go for dinner? Oh, is that going to be safe or whatever? Then you do want to plan it out. You do want to sit down, set yourself up on somewhat of a schedule, things that you want to do, with, leading with safety and kind of block it out. And so I would definitely see what is to offer in these areas you're going to and start planning your schedule if that's what you're looking for. Or if you're that person that says, you know what, I'm going to wing it and I'm going to go and I'm going to take what is presented in front of me and respond accordingly. That's wonderful too, but that's why don't travel for that other person. In this situation, travel for yourself.
Yeah, it is called solo traveling.
Exactly.
Right? So absolutely. What are kind of some of the ways we can, we've booked the tickets, or whether it's train, plane, automobile, we are now in the location. How do we just get started with that, the zenness of that, or just what my day is going to be like, or my next few days?
Yep. Well, I'll tell you just personally myself, because this happens, I travel very often alone. And I will start the day I will search for a local yoga studio, for example, or I will venture out and I'll talk to the people at the hotel and I'll say, where's a great place to walk? Where would I really get a feel for the neighborhood? Where would I get a feel for the culture of the area? And so I will meet with the concierge or whoever and spend some time, set that up in advance and have them give me, walking maps or where a great yoga studio is, like I said, or if you're somebody that wants to simply go to their gym, or if you say, what is a coffee shop that's close by? You maybe not want to be physically active.
That's where maybe you want to start every day. Yep. And it's a great grounding place.
That's the other piece that I would like to share with the audience is that if you kind of plan out your day. I would really suggest at the very beginning say, you know what, I want to be prepared. Now, if you do all those things, doesn't really matter, but say, I'm going to start at a local coffee shop and I'm going to do a little research beforehand. Then after that, I'm going to follow it with a walk or, I'm going to go to a local museum or I'm going to spend some time at the library and kind of put those things out there. So you're not starting the day with stress, like, what am I going to do? And fill your time with things that you think would bring you joy, that you would look at it as a trip well taken.
What I love, Todd, about all of your advice is you are giving us options. You're not saying there's a right or a wrong or a better or a worse. You're just saying, here are some options. But first and foremost, get to know yourself, find your own intention, and then a little bit of planning. I mean, plan accordingly.
Yeah, plan accordingly, especially
Loosely or tightly, plan accordingly.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be, listening and watching this, and they're going to be saying, "Oh, I'm not going to overly plan. I'm not a planner." But in this situation, safety is important. So you're going to want to know that you're staying at a hotel that is definitely in a safe area, that you're going to be in a neighborhood that you're going to feel comfortable walking around. And so all those things are very, very important. I don't take any risks when I travel. I'm very, very cautious and being sure that I'm in a neighborhood that's safe, like I said, and that I'm going to places where there's, a large group of people, especially when I travel internationally. So planning is important in this situation.
All right. Which are some of the destinations that really offer some formats that are great for this kind of traveling? Are there special cities or sunshine escapes that you recommend?
Yep. Okay. All right. So if you're looking for sunshine escapes, I would definitely consider going to San Juan. I mean, it's a wonderful place to go, and it's easy to get to, and there's direct flights from many different places around the country. That is wonderful. And then I would put on there also, if you're looking for sunshine and you're looking for kind of warmth and feeling of like warm people as well, look at Sedona. Look at some of those places. I was in and went over the hot air balloon ride over the desert in Arizona, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I was all by myself and met a bunch of different people, in my little cage that I was in, not cage, but
in the
basket. Right. But
no cages.
No
We're not
cages.
Recommending cages.
So, so those are definitely two places. And then the other thing that you can really consider is if you want something that is mindfulness and that is all about maybe taking care of yourself, there's a number of different spa retreats that you can go to. Some of them, of course, are very expensive, and then there's some of them that are definitely, more on the reasonable side of things, and they will program things that you can do, and there'll be yoga classes, and there'll be different meditation times or walks, and those are sprinkled throughout the country that you can really look at.
I know safety is a huge tip you've recommended to us now numerous times today. Are there some cities that you feel when someone is traveling solo are safer than others?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at Arizona, like I just mentioned, that I brought that up first and foremost because it does feel really safe. If you're going to be going into the Scottsdale area, you can go and you can stay at a hotel that has everything right there, and you just feel really safe being able to do the different activities. So I would definitely say that. I was also recently in Spokane, Washington. Usually not a place that's the first and foremost on somebody's radar, but I stayed right in the downtown area, had an absolutely great time. They have shopping malls that people actually are shopping in. So there's activities going on. And there's a movie theater right downtown in Spokane. You can hike, a lot to do. So that would be another place that I would consider safe, small and manageable, and maybe a little bit off the beaten path that you might not have considered.
You've told us San Juan. Are there any other international destinations that are particularly nice for a solo traveler?
Lisbon. Absolutely comes to mind. I've been there as a solo traveler, and I had a wonderful time, felt safe. The transportation is really fantastic, easy to get around. So I never, ever felt like I was out of my element and that I was living on the edge a little bit. So that would be someplace. I was just recently in Seoul, Korea. And that is another place that definitely felt incredibly safe. And I did not speak the language. I was traveling solo. And I came back going, you know what? That is definitely a destination that I would advise solo travelers to take.
I love that you mentioned Korea because, everything Korean in arts and entertainment is so hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
K-pop, Demon Hunters, I still have to see the movie. All of the music that's coming out of there. It's great to hear that. Well, as always, you open our eyes and our minds to bigger things and trying things on our own. One piece that would make or break it for me, because I don't particularly like to rent cars, especially by myself, when I am somewhere else. Have I done it? Yes. Will I do it again? Yes. That's when it's nice when I am traveling with my husband. If we do a rental car, he usually drives. I have no sense of direction, and that's a big reason why. I realize there's GPS now, but I still manage to get lost. So are there places that You've mentioned some already, but others that you can think of that if I were to go somewhere and didn't want to drive, but was fine with doing Ubers, trains, that I could do a lot of things in a walkable situation.
Washington, D.C.
Okay. Yep.
Washington, D.C. is an excellent place to go for a solo traveler. Something to do all the time if you so choose to do that. There's nature that you can definitely get outside of just the everybody thinks of it just being Washington, D.C. as the core area. But there's places you can go. There's short day trips where you can get on a train and you can go to wonderful areas outside of the city.
I mean, their public transportation is excellent.
Is fantastic.
Yeah.
So that, and I would feel safe doing that as well. So that would be probably a place that would offer a lot to do if you choose to do it. You can get out of the city if you choose to do that as well, and access points to other areas that you might want to explore.
As always, he's got the answers. That is why he is our travel and lifestyle contributor. You can follow Todd on Instagram and X at Todd P. Walker, and go to his site for more tips and info and some fabulous videos, toddpwalker.com. Today's case file is powered by Mall of America. Mall of America. Great shopping. A dazzling and dizzying variety of attractions and restaurants. Did you realize Mall of America also hosts hundreds of events each year? Everything from high-fashion runway shows to visits from the hottest musicians. Pop-up celebrations ahead of movie premieres. Charity-related walks and holiday-themed experiences. You never know what you will find at our mall. For upcoming events and happenings, check out mallofamerica.com. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and X at The Crisis Files. Rate, review, and subscribe to The Crisis Files on your platform of choice. Visit thecrisisfiles.com for all 4 seasons of the show. I'm Roshini Rajkumar. Join me next time on The Crisis Files.